Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jai Om Vishnupada Parivamsaka Acharya Ashtottara Chata Srimad Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So welcome to the morning Bhagavatam class. So today we are reading Canto 3, Chapter 20, Conversation between Maitreya and Videra. And the verses will be from text 39 to, we'll try to finish up to 43 because there are small ones and without purport. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 39. Visasarja tanum tam vai Jyotsnam Kantimatim Priyam Ta eva cha adau priya Pritya Vishwa Vasu Purogama Visasarja tanum tam vai Jyotsnam Kantimatim Priyam Ta eva cha adu pritya Vishwa Vasu Purogama Visasarja tanum tam vai Jyotsnam Kantimatim Priyam Ta eva cha adu pritya Vishwa Vasu Purogama. Prabhuji. Visasarja tanum tam vai Jyotsnam Kantimatim Priyam Cha eva adu pritya Vishwa Vasu Purogama. Visasarja tanum tam vai Jyotsnam Kantimatim Priyam Ta eva vacha adu pritya Vishwa Vasu Purogama. So what meaning? Visasarja gave up, tanum form, tam that, why in fact, Jyotsnam moonlight, Kantimatim shining, Priyam beloved, Te the Gandharvas, Eva certainly, Cha and Adadu took possession, Pritya gladly, Vishwavasu Puragama headed by Vishwavasu. Translation by His Grace, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After that, Brahma gave up the... Okay, please repeat with me. After that, Brahma gave up that shining and beloved form of moonlight. Vishwavasu and the other Gandharvas gladly took possession of it. So remaining verses I will read out, just listen. Srishtva bhuta pisachamscha bhagavan atmatan tandrina digvisaso mukta keshan viksha chamaliyad drishau. Translation: The glorious Brahma next evolved from his sloth, the ghosts and friends. But he closed his eyes when he saw them stand naked with their hair scattered. Purport: Ghosts and mischievous hobgoblins are also creation of Brahma. They are not false. All of them are meant for putting the conditional souls into various miseries. They are understood to be the creation of Brahma under the direction of Supreme Lord. Text 41. Jagruhustad vishrutam tam jrumbanakyam tanum prabho nidram indriya vikledho yaya bhuteshu drishyate yenochistan darasyanti tam unmadam prachakshaste. Translation: The ghosts and hobgoblins took possession of the body thrown off in the form of yawning by Brahma, the creator of living entities. This is also known as the sleep which causes drooling. The hobgoblins and ghosts attack men who are impure, and their attack is spoken of as insanity. Purport: The disease of insanity or being haunted by the ghost take place in the unclean state of existence. Here it is clearly stated that when a man is fast asleep and saliva flows from his mouth and he remains unclean, ghosts then take advantage of his unclean state and haunt his body. In other words, those who drool while sleeping are considered unclean and are subject to the haunted by ghosts or to go insane. Verse 42. Urja swantam manyamana Atmanam Bhagavan Aja Sadhyan Ganam Pitrugana Parokshe Srajat Prabhu. Translation: Recognizing himself to be full of desire and energy, the worshipable Brahma, the creator of living entities, evolved from his own invisible form from his navel, the hosts of Sadhya and Pitas. The Sadhya and Pitas are invisible forms of departed soul, and they also created by Brahma. Text 43. Ta atma sargam tam kayam pitra pratipedire sajebhyascha pitrabhyascha kavayo yat vitanvate. Translation: The Pitas themselves took possession of the invisible body, the source of their existence. It is through the medium of invisible body those well versed in the rituals offer oblation to the Sadhyas and Pitas in the form of their departed ancestors on the occasion of Shraddha. Purport: Shraddha is a ritualistic performance observed by the follower of the Vedas. There is a yearly occasion of 15 days when ritualistic regulations follow the principles of offering oblation to departed souls. Thus, those fathers and ancestors who by freaks of nature might not have a gross body for material enjoyment can again gain such bodies due to the offering of Shraddha and oblations by their descendants. The performance of Shraddha or offering oblations with Prasada is still current in India, especially at Gaya, where oblations are offered at the lotus feet of Vishnu in a celebrated temple. Because the Lord is thus pleased with the devotional service of the descendants, by His grace, He liberates the conditioned souls of forefathers who do not have gross bodies, and He favors them to receive a gross body for development of spiritual advancement. Unfortunately, by the influence of Maya, conditioned souls employ the body he gets for sense gratification, forgetting that such an occupation may lead him to return to invisible body. The devotee of the Lord, or one who is in Krishna conscious, however, does not need to perform such ritualistic ceremonies as Shraddha, because he is always pleasing the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his father and ancestors who might have been in a difficult are automatically relieved. The vivid example is Prahlada Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj requested Lord Nrsimhadev to deliver his sinful father, who had so many times offended the lotus feet of Lord. The Lord replied that in a family where a Vaishnava like Prahlada is born, not only his father, but his father's father and their fathers, up to 14 father back, are all automatically delivered. The conclusion, therefore, is that Krishna consciousness is the sum total of all good work for the family, for society, and for all living entities. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author says that a person fully conversant with Krishna consciousness does not perform any rituals before he knows that simply by serving Krishna in full Krishna consciousness, all rituals are automatically performed. Let's read Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyacha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we are continuing with the chapter 20 conversation between Maitreya and Videra, where Maitreya Rishi is explaining how the Brahma created this secondary world, secondary creation. Yeah? So if we say this recap, first from what Brahma did, from his ignorance, from its shadow, he created 5 different variety of ignorances. Then, after that, he threw that ignorant body, and then he threw the body, and that body, taking the Yakshas and Rakshasa were taking that body, and they were created. And then, after that, the Lord Brahma gave birth to demons. So he is creating one by one after other. He was started creating. So far, whatever happened, just I am recapture it. The Brahma gave birth to demons from his buttocks, and the body gave Brahma. Then after that, he threw that body. Then became a twilight, and then with laugh full of deep significance, worship Brahma. Even then, evolved his own loveliness. So by seeing his beautiful form, and he was enjoying, and he was feeling happy. Through that, he created Apsaras and Gandharvas. Like that, he is continuing all the creation. In the secondary, all these different demons, Yakshas, Rakshasas, Yakshas and Gandharvas. Now, we need to see, we are going each verse by verse deeply. Sometimes we tend to forget the bigger picture. We may not able to connect. Sometimes we forget to connect the bigger picture, where this, in overall bigger picture, where this creation is fitting. Right? So that is what we try to understand. So from where these Gandharvas, Rakshasas and Yakshas are coming, how they are coming, from where they are coming? Any guess? Any idea? Brahma is creating all those people. From where they are coming? So we'll discuss that only. So before that, we'll take material analogy. Like, see, if in a family, you will have some grown-up kids. When the holidays there, they wanted to go for some pleasure trip, to enjoy the vacation. And what your parents do? So they will ensure that he has all the arrangements made. Like, all the arrangements include, you have his travel, transportation is arranged, tickets are purchased, accommodation is available, and after proper food facilities, prasadam, everything is available, and return tickets, everything. So all the requirements within the city, if you are traveling, you have to. Parents will ensure that their kids got all the required facilities, right? So then he kid go there and he will enjoy, and his return tickets he will provide, so that the people will come back to their parents. But now same thing in the spiritual world, we were having the desire to enjoy away from Krishna. And Krishna, what he did? Okay, you can't enjoy in spiritual world, so go back to, he created separate world, material world, to enjoy. So first, if you see the different subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sarga, Visarga, Sthana, Poshana, Uti, Manvantara, Ishanukata, what is that? Nirodha, Mukti, Ashraya. These are various topics covered in Srimad Bhagavatam. So first one is Sarga, so the creation. So creation part, Lord Vishnu did this creation part. Like how he, on the causal ocean, he was lying, and when he is breathing, all the material universes are coming out. And then from each of the material universe, Lord Vishnu again entering as a Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. In that Garbhodaka, in that universe, what he is doing? Half of the ocean is filling with his perspiration, and then remaining thing is outer space. And within that water, the lotus is coming out, and the first living entity is coming out is Brahma. And as soon as after Brahma, when he is creating all other living entities, Vishnu again entered into that each of the living entity as a Kshirodakasaya Vishnu, as a Paramatma. So this is all happening. So now the Brahma is first Vishnu created the Sarga part, now the Brahma is doing the Visarga, the secondary creation. So what he is doing, when material universe contains all the 14 planetary systems, right from the top to heavenly planets to the hellish planets. So in between, our Earth planet is there. Now, so all the heavenly planets will be in the mode of goodness, earthly planet will be in the mode of passion and ignorance also, but down all the hellish planets are ignorant. This is how they start. Now, Brahma has to fill all these planets with jivas, right? So from where these jivas are, the Yakshasas, Rakshasas, Gandharvas coming, these are the people who had a desire to enjoy this material world. Or once they entered into the material world, due to their past karma, they have to take different bodies. So Brahma is filling up all these planets with this creation. This is what we can understand in the bigger picture. What is happening? The Brahma is creating all these Yakshas, Gandharvas, Rakshasas, and Apsarasas. So these are all different bodies. Like at the end of every day of Brahma, the partial annihilation happens. So what happens? All the jivas go into the dormant state. Now when the Brahma, next day, when Brahma starts, again Vishnu gives the knowledge, intelligence, through that he will create all those. So like that it happens. So in the current situation also, it's the same thing. So the Brahma is doing the secondary creation to fill up all the planets based on the individual karma and their desire. People will get different bodies, and those will be in different planets. That is how we can understand in an overall bigger picture. So, if today's verse, when we just briefly touch on each of the translation, and we'll glance through all the translations up to 43, then we'll spend more time on 43 and other verses. So in the text 39 translation, after that Brahma gave up that shining and beloved form of moonlight, Vishwavasu and other Gandharvas gladly took possession of it. So when he removed his body, the shining body, then the Vishwavasu and other Gandharvas took the position. Then next one, glorious Brahma next evolved from his sloth, the ghosts and friends. But he closed his eyes when he saw them stand when we saw them stand naked with their hair scattered. So when he was a bit lazy, so what is happening? Brahma is doing various actions, like he's yawning, he's enjoying, or sometimes he's very disturbed mind. So each of the activity doing some or other creation is happening through Brahma. Now it's from his sloth, the ghosts and friends came. So this is and in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning one point. Ghosts and mischievous hobgoblins are creation of Brahma, they are not false. Why Prabhupada is saying this? In our material world, people think that science, they clearly deny there is no ghost, there is no such thing called ghosts and all, right? But Bhagavatam says they are real, they are there. Ghosts are, Prabhupada is also highlighting that. As per Bhagavatam, it is real, they are existing. We hear many pastimes from many sannyasis and how they, we hear. So how the ghosts are impacting. And I remember once Lal Govind Prabhu also gave the example. Somebody, he went and there was a big building only. He was there with his family and they told that some ghost was roaming. Then throughout the night, he was doing the Bhagavatam recitation and the next day morning everything was fine. So like that examples we hear many places. So the ghosts are real. That's what this Bhagavatam, this verse is saying. Now the next in the text 41, the ghosts and hobgoblins took possession of the body thrown off in the form of yawning by Brahma, the creator of living entities. This is also known as the sleep which causes drooling. The hobgoblins and ghosts attack men who are impure and their attack is spoken of insanity. So in the purport, so the disease of insanity or being haunted by ghosts take place in an unclean state of existence. So when the person is not clean, the ghost, there's a high chance that ghost will come and stay in your body. So that's the cleanliness. Always Prabhupada, cleanliness is next to godliness. Prabhupada always mentioned the quotation, right? So the cleanliness is very, very important. If it is not clean, it will be, there is a high chance that it will be, you will be captured by the ghost will come and sit in your body. So here it is clearly stated that when a man is fast asleep and saliva flows from his mouth and remains unclean, the ghost then take advantage of his unclean state and haunt his body. In other words, those who drool while sleeping are considered unclean and are subject to be haunted by ghosts or to go insane. So this is another example. Unclean means, one example of uncleanness is, suppose when you are sleeping, if the saliva is coming in your sleep, that is considered as not a clean state. So those people will have greater chance of being captivated by ghosts. So these are all Bhagavatam things. So we need to, as we have to believe this. Prabhupada also clearly written in the commentary. So these are all real. Text 42. Recognizing himself to be full of desire and energy, so the worshipful Brahma, the creator of living entity, evolved from his own invisible form, from his navel, the host of sadhyas and pitas. So from his invisible form, he created sadhyas and pitas. The sadhyas and pitas are invisible form of departed souls. Who are they? They are our departed soul. Previously, they are like invisible forms of departed souls. Because they took the invisible form of Brahma, so they are invisible. And all they are created by Brahma. And who are they? They are our ancestors and forefathers. That's what in the next translation, in text 43, the Pitas themselves took the possession of invisible body, the source of their existence. It is thought that medium of this invisible body, that those well versed in the rituals are offer oblation to the Sadhyas and Pitas on the occasion of Shraddhas. So in the purport also it is mentioned, Prabhupada clearly mentioned, because in our Indian community, most of the people perform Shraddha ceremony, right? People they die, if their family members die, then every year they conduct the Shraddha ceremony. So what is the reason is they are offering they are offering the food to Vishnu, and from that food they are offering that prasadam, they are offering to forefathers, because that forefathers will accept this prasadam. And when the reason is, when the forefathers accept this prasadam, so they will get a chance to get the gross body next time. That is the expectation. And in India, there is a place Gaya. Like there is many people go to do the Pinda Pradhan there, right? That is also Vishnu on the lotus form. Vishnu's feet is there, like, and there they offer the Pinda, the prasad. Then that will make the people to get the liberation. Either they get the gross body so that they will get an opportunity for spiritual realization. And so if they offer the Bhoga, that Pinda Pradhan, the body will get, the ancestor father's body will get gross body. And that with that gross body, he will have opportunity to grow in a spiritual advancement. That is the expectation. But in our material society, people, what happened when you come back to the material world, again you will start entangled in material world. You start going again for sense enjoyment. And as a result, there is a high chance that again you will have opportunity to go back to that same invisible form again. So generally what I heard is the invisible form, those who commit suicide forcefully, they take out the life. So those kind of people will get the invisible, the body, and they will be suffering to get the body again. So that's where when we offer this prasadam, they will accept that prasadam and they will get opportunity to take the next birth in a gross body. And using that gross body, when they go advance in spiritual activities, they will go back to Godhead, or they have opportunity to go to continue in the spiritual path. That is what here Prabhupada is mentioning. And other one is, Prabhupada also mentioned for the Krishna conscious devotees. So these are all rituals mentioned in the Vedas, like the Shraddha ceremony, Pinda Pradhan, all those things are rituals mentioned in scriptures, Vedas. But what Prabhupada is mentioning, Krishna conscious, those who are pure Krishna conscious devotees, they don't need to perform all these things. But again, we may think that, so to avoid any confusion, so in that case many of us can think that whether should we do for our ancestors, forefathers, we have to avoid that, we don't need to do. But in the next subsequent pages, lines he mentioned, if you are born like a Prahalad Maharaj, if you are a devotee like a Prahalad Maharaj, took birth in a family, then the example he mentioned. So after once the Narsingadev killed Hiranyakashipu, and Prahalad Maharaj went and offered his prayers, and then Prahalad Maharaj asked, because his father always offended Vishnu. He committed so many offenses towards lotus feet of Vishnu. So what is his fate? Then he was asking, can you deliver our father? Then Narsingadev told, whoever took you, since he mentioned that, so Prahalad's father's father, and 14 levels of fathers will be delivered, because Prahalad Maharaj is a pure and a great devotee of Vishnu. So if any person like a Prahalad Maharaj, like a devotee, if he is born in that family, then he will be delivering all the 14 parent levels of back, your forefathers and all, they will be delivered. This is what, so the devotee will, like a standard we need to see, he should be devotee like a Prahalad Maharaj. So so that's why in our case we can take the help of our Guru Sadhu Shastra is our basic. If the Shastra is saying this, so you can take with a spiritual master. So each condition may be vary. But either Prabhupada is saying, if they here clearly mentioned in one of the lines, Prahalada Maharaj requested Narsimha Dev to deliver his sinful father, who had so many times offended the lotus feet of Lord. The Lord replied that in a family where a Vaishnava like Prahalada is born, so this is the condition we have to see, where a Prahalada like son is born, then not only his father, but his father's father and fathers, up to the 14 fathers back, are all automatically delivered. So we need to see it should be like a Prahalada, like a devotee, then everyone will, 14 levels back, 4 fathers will be delivered. So this is the standard Prabhupada is mentioning. So this is what I am mentioning. So these are all Brahma's creation, secondary creation, and various things. Like in relation to this, Prabhupada is highlighting various facts, like the ghosts are real, and Shraddha ceremony, and who has to do Shraddha ceremony, who are not so required to do. All those things he is mentioning. Now, we'll take some references from Bhagavad-Gita. In Bhagavad-Gita, to support this, to understand more better this secondary creation of Brahma, in the Bhagavad-Gita chapter 9:25 verses, Yanti deva vrata deva, pitrun yanti pitruvata, bhutani yati bhutejo, Yanti mat yajopimam. So, what is that meaning? Yanti deva vrata deva. So, if you worship demigods, yanti means going to deva. So, you will go to demigods world. So, if when you worship demigods, you will go to demigods planet. And pitrun yanti pitruvrata. Pitruvrata. So, you go to pitruloka when? If you worship pitru. Bhutani yanti bhutejo. If you worship bhutas, then you go to Bhuta, Beta, like ghostly planets. We heard, right? Brahma was creating ghosts and so yanti mad yajinopimam. Those who worship me, they'll come back to my abode. That is what. So we can also understand. So Brahma is filling up all the planets with different planets are there, and he is filling all the. So how? Again, here Krishna is saying, according to our nature. So whatever we do, if we are associating with the demigods worship, we will go back to the heavenly planets like Brahma Loka or Indra Loka. And if you are worshiping Pitra Loka, so forefathers planet is there, so you will go to that forefather Pitra planet. And if you worship Bhuta, ghosts and that planet, because there are in India, you will see there are many people who do black magic and they will do all this kind of worship, right? So they will be going back to the Pitruloka. But finally Krishna is saying, those who worship me, those who worship Sri Radha Gopinath, Krishna, so they will go back to his abode, spiritual world. And one more reference also there in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. So this is 29th verse. It's a very brief text from purport. That the purport is saying, I'll not read out the verse, but just purport in the purport saying that there is also planet of Pita's ancestors preceded over by Aryama, who represents Krishna. Because in the 10th chapter, Krishna was mentioning all the things like everything is emanating from me. He was giving various references. So Krishna was saying there is a planet like Pitra planet, Pita's planet, and it was headed by Aryama. Aryama represents Krishna. So this is all references. We need to understand that these all planets existing, these people are existing. Now we understand like Brahma created secondary world with various planets filling out all the different species of based on their karma and desire. Now what would be their fate? Now we know we are in the earth planet. If we follow the Krishna consciousness, if we do the devotional activity, we have sometime, either this life or after 100 or millions of lifetimes, we will have an opportunity to go back to Godhead. So, but what about these Gandharvas, Rakshasas, ghosts, what is their fate? So, here we can understand one verse. Purusha prakritiustohi bhungte prakriti jan gunan karanam gunasangosya sad asad yoni janmasu. This is from chapter 13. Text 22. So the two lines which we can focus is Karanam Guna Sangosya. Guna means three modes. Guna Sangha means associate. So when you Karanam Guna Sangosya, Sad Asad Yoni Janmasu. Sad or Asad, whether good or bad, depending on the whatever modes you connect, you build your association accordingly. Sad Asad, either good or bad, Yoni Janmasu. You will take birth. So in that case, if your activities are fully with all the ignorant, so you will have even in next life, you will have ignorant. So all these connections, so when you keep the Brahma's creation, we can understand what Brahma is doing with all these references. So when you associate with the ignorant, when your activities are full of ignorant, you will be going back to the ignorant, when you will be getting the bodies, ignorant bodies, like all the ghosts, anything, or the animals. It all depends on your karma, what level of sinful activities you did. Accordingly, you will get ghost body or animal. And in the passionate, if you are very much fond of swimming, and then you will get a passionate body. Like you instead of as a human being practicing swimming and regularly focusing full of swimming, then you will get a birth as aquatic. So you will be always in the water and you swimming. So when you assess it in goodness, then you will be in a like good body. So you will be like a nice sattvic person where you will not do any sinful activities, but again you will not be doing any devotional. You do charity, you will help others. All the good qualities will be there in your take the birth. But at the same time, still you are not a devotee. But when you transcend these all modes, when you are in pure goodness, that is where you will get the opportunity to associate with Krishna. when you are getting associated with the devotional activities, then you will go back to the different planets. Now, we can see some pastimes related to this, taking these examples. We know that from the Srimad Bhagavatam, we heard many stories where those who are pious sages and good the devotional people, how they got liberated. But we can see some Gandharvas and some ghosts, how they are delivered from Srimad Bhagavatam. We can hear that. So the conclusion of this verse is that 1322 is whatever mode you associate, accordingly you will get a body. Right? So the next thing is how different human beings, we know how we get able to liberate from the Bhagavatam. But we hear some pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam where we can see the Gandharvas, example of Gandharva who became a devotee, and example of a ghost, how he was delivered. So the example of Gandharva, like if you see the Narada Muni pastimes, in the previous life of Narada Muni, his name is Upabharana, I think. So he's a Gandharva. One day, the Prajapatis, Brahma created Prajapatis so that they can further create all the progeny. So all the Prajapatis assembled and they wanted to have a Sankirtan. So they invited all the Gandharvas and these Apsaras to participate in a Sankirtan. So they are, in that one nice Gandharva is there Upabharana, and he is very great singer. So he was singing nicely, and now everybody praised him. Because after some time, since he was singing very nicely, and then he was much visibility, so he became a celebrity kind of thing. Then he got a pride. Then one day he started singing on his own, because glorification, Sankirtan is always glorifying Vishnu. So they were doing in the previous. But once he got pride, and he got so much, he puffed up with his prestige, celebrity status and all. So what he did his own songs. He started creating his own songs and he started doing everything. Then all the devatas they were upset and they cursed him to become a Shudra. So now the Gandharva became a Shudra. He became a son of a maid servant. Now, and we all know the pastimes of Narada Muni. Then the boy, he was always silent and calm. Then his mother was, one day during the Chaturmasya time, the sages came to his house because they are unable to go anywhere. So they stayed in this house. And during that time, his mother was serving all the Brahmanas, their sages. And this boy was also helping. So gradually when his dad started doing service, finally he was liberated. He became a great devotee. We all know he became a Narada. So that is how in a previous time he became a Gandharva, but he was a Gandharva, but he became, with the association of devotees, serving the devotees nicely, he became a great devotee. Now, we had talked about ghosts many times in this from past couple of verses. So, how a ghost was delivered. There is also a nice pastime. We heard, I think most of you heard this story, but it's in connection to this, we can revise one more time. We know the Gokarna and Dundukari pastime. From Padma Puran we can hear this. Okay, so there is a person called Atmadev. He was a nice Brahmana. He was staying in the banks of Tungabhadra river. And he was a nice and rich Brahmana. His wife's name was Dhunduli. But the Brahmana was very nice, but his wife is not very straightforward. She was cunning nature. So, but they don't have any kid. And he was trying to go to forest to do severe austerity and penance, so that with their tapasya, effect of tapasya, he would get children. So while he is going to the forest, he met with a sage. The sage knew that he will not have any children. But since he was very insisting that the Brahmana was very determined, very much determined to get some blessing so that he will have children. So then finally the sage gave a fruit. And he told that give this to wife, so you will get a child. Then he went back to home with that fruit, and then the wife was not willing to take that. She didn't tell, but the wife took the fruit, but she didn't eat. Well, instead she gave it to a cow. and cow had that fruit. And at the parallel same time, the Dunduli's sister is also going to deliver a baby. So then she had an agreement, okay, since I am not going to have the baby, I'll give some money, you give me that baby once you deliver. So the sister also agreed. After some time, the cow had this fruit, right? So cow delivered a baby boy, which his ears are like cow. So that's why they named as Gokarna. Go means cow, Karna ears, right? So ears are like cow. So he was called as Gokarna. And the other his sister also, the Dunduli's sister also delivered a baby, and they named him as Dundukari. So now these two boys were growing. So the atmosphere is the Gokarna is very pious. He was always with his father. He was studying Vedas and he's following all the rituals proper. He was very nice and like a good boy, and he was in devotional path. Whereas the Gokarna, whereas the Dundukari, he was started having bad habits. So as they grew up, so when one day the Dundukari, so when the Gokarna, he went to some pilgrimage, and the Dundukari, he was by seeing all these nonsense activities of Dundukari, he left the house, and so this Dundukari keep doing the bad things, and he started stealing the money, everything. He wanted to drink, he got addiction to the drinking. So all the bad habits he developed, and the Dundukari finally he stolen money or something, and the king's soldiers came, and with some other prostitutes they killed him forcibly. They put a fire and they burnt him and they killed Dundukari. So since it was a forcible death, he became a ghost. He started living in the house, and then this Gokarna came back from the pilgrimage, and he was staying in this house. Then he started, like in the night time, he started using all these ghost noises, everything. Then he inquired, then he got to know that his brother became a ghost. That is a Dundukari became a ghost. Then what he did, he got some sage suggested to that do the Bhagavad Puran recitation. So 7 days. So he told his brother that okay, he is going to recite the Bhagavad Puran. So listen carefully so that you will be delivered. So in the 7 days he recited Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Saptah he did, and then on the 7th day, this Dundukari was delivered, and he delivered from the ghostly body. Now the same thing, like when he was reciting Bhagavad Puran, complete village people also listening, but only from the Vaikuntha only one plane came to take Dundukari. So then people were asking, we all are listening, saying, your lecture, only why Dundukari got the opportunity, why? Then he told, they are sitting and listening, but they are not very attentive. So then they requested him to recite one more time. So then the Gokarna recited the Bhagavad Sapta again, he did that. And finally, all the villages, the people from that village delivered to Goloka. So, like this is how the Gandharvas and ghosts also will have opportunity to get delivered. So, with the support from, when you connect, when you it all depends on which mode you are connected. If you are connected to Shuddha Sattva, the holy name, the glories of Krishna, pastimes of Krishna, you will be delivered to his abode. So, if you are associated with all the other modes, you will be still entangled in this mortal world, you will be repeated birth and death. So, this is what I wanted to convey, and I will conclude here. Yes, Prabhu.
Who's actually Vishwavasi and what's his significance as mentioned in the
39 sloka. So, Prabhu, I think. So he's mentioned Vishwavasu and other Gandharvas. So he's one of the Gandharvas. That's what I understand. But here I didn't get any other reference of Vishwavasu. I think he's one of the. That's what you can say, that he's one of the Gandharvas. But he might be having some other pastime somewhere. But
especially mentioned, so there must be.
yeah, someone. I think in Vishwakarma, not Vishwavasu. Yeah.
And Prabhu, in the next shloka, it's
No, they will not be having gross bodies. That's what it's. Is it somewhere mentioned? Is it invisible? Not this. Yeah. This. So the gross body only human beings will have gross body. Once you're dead, your gross body will be vanished.
Why if Brahma is so scared? He's saying that he's not able to look at the invisible, naked body. It's mentioned in the shloka.
Okay, ghosts and mischief objects are also creation of Brahma. They are not false. All of them are meant for putting the conditioned soul into various misery. They are under. Okay. Glorious Brahmas next evolved from his sloth, ghosts and friends. But he closed his eyes, and when he saw them, maybe he is having that power, Prabhu, but maybe for a material eyes we may not be having, but he is a demigod, so he might be having the special power to see them. Like, he is a creator, right? So he can see. That's.
Next shloka, 41. Yawning, sleeping, and drooling. These are like common things for a jiva, right? I mean, how can anyone avoid that? If we can't, does it mean that the bhutas and pishachas will attack those jivas? That's a quite a common thing for any human being or probably any jiva, I would probably say. That is not.
See, Prabhu, but it is connected with uncleanness, right? So that is what he is saying. So if it is unclean, then there is when suppose particularly gave the example of getting the saliva out, right?
Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, in the last line, that, they will be attacked.
Yeah, those who are, yes, Prabhu, that's what Prabhupada is mentioning. So,
That is beyond our control, isn't it, Prabhu?
yeah, Prabhu, so for everything remedy is always be Krishna conscious, chant and sleep, that's it. When before go to sleep, chant, that's it. And also you wake up, you remember Krishna and chant. So, that is what Prabhu, this material world is dukkhalayama shashvatam, it's not a happy place, right? Everywhere padam vipadam, right? So this is what it is. You can understand with all these examples.
And Prabhu, the next one, 42, Brahma is mentioned that he has got an invisible body. So when a soul departs, does it become sadhya or pita? Is that what it means? I didn't quite understand. So it's mentioned there, the invisible.
See, Prabhu, there is a separate planet like the Pitraloka and all, right? So I don't know the criteria which bodies will go there, but some of them will have this body. Go to the Pitraloka, and where all the four ancestors and forefathers live. So when you go, that's what in the Bhagavad-Gita verse also, those who worship Pitra, they go to Pitra planet. So those people it's specific to, we are talking. Not everybody will be like that. So that's what we have to understand. I mean, I took the verse, right? 920. So, yanti devavata vrata pitrun vanti pitruvata. So that is where Bhagavad-Gita was saying, whoever is worshipping those level, they will go to that planet.
Not every soul.
No, that's what we can understand. So those who are worshipping Krishna, they will go to Krishna's abode. Those who are worshipping demigod, they will go to. So that's why I took the reference to make it more clear on this thing.
And in the last shloka, in the purport, Prabhupada gave an elaborate description, like who performs Shraddha ceremony, etc., like 15 days, in Gaya they offer prasadam, etc. So, and you did actually mention that it's only for devotees like Prahlad Maharaj. Does it mean that all other devotees they have to
See, Prabhu, we devotees, we cannot make that I am a good devotee, right? That is where you take the help of. See, I cannot assume I am a good devotee, I don't need to. That is wrong way of, right? So you need to take the guidance of sadhu. That's what the standard mentioned is Prabhupada mentioned in this purport, like devotee like Prahlad Maharaj. That person doesn't need to perform. But whether in our case, with all it's person to person it varies. So better we take the guidance from sadhu and guru and sadhu. This is what the Shastra was mentioning this. So the next two options is in each case will be different. We cannot generalize this, right? Each one will be a different level of devotional platform, right? So we can take the help of guru and senior devotees and we can maintain it. As per their suggestion, we can do that. But the standard was Prahlad Maharaj. That's what Prabhupada mentioning. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, first just a few comments. So in terms of who was asking why Brahma got
Made up of intelligence. Yeah.
is most invisible. Like our vision, we can only see earth, water, and fire.
Yes.
So there are so many in between intelligence, and that's a lot to speak of him being able to see a body which is of any of these in between. And in terms of the drooling, yeah, like from I understand, Prabhu is making the point of being not caring about cleanliness and just being lazy and sleeping.
Yeah.
That's the point. I mean, yeah, it doesn't mean that if you drool a little bit immediately it goes.
Yeah. So that's what he's mainly emphasizing the cleanliness point of view.
And yeah, so and I'm not fully sure, but like Pete does and Pete trees, I think there might be a distinction because I think I heard Pete Look is kind of like almost like a sub-heavenly planet, like a higher standard than what we have here.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like you mentioned, the verse Bhutani, Buddhist,
Yeah.
that those who worship ghosts,
Yeah.
become ghosts which live like in Antariksha, right? And
Yeah. Outer space.
outer space between
Yeah.
Earth and the high planetary system. So Pitrulok, it's a separate planet.
Separate planet. Yeah.
So I think closer to the hellish planets, but it's actually
Separate planet. Yeah.
highest and
Yeah.
highest and like a high planet. So that's different. And so my question was just when we hear here how you nicely explained how Brahman is secondary creation is creating all these different like Gandharvas and everyone. So I mean I guess it's kind of common sense, just want to check the understanding. So when it says Brahma creates them, it means, because you were saying like there's the jivas and during the night of Brahma we're all in a dormant state, right? And then Brahma has to create bodies again for us to enter. But so when we say Brahma creates them, I guess it means he's creating some like.
He's not creating the soul as such. It is the existing.
No, he's creating the bodies, but he's creating just some forefathers of each species, isn't it? And then he's not creating simultaneously like you.
So sorry, I didn't get you the last one. What did he say?
Like when we say he creates those species, like how exactly does he create? Like he creates a few of those bodies, I guess. So.
Yeah. See the logic. Yeah, because he will have in the dormant state so many souls are there, right? So based on the karma and then I think the the Lord might be giving intelligence. Through that intelligence, he will be placing into the different planets, I think, based on their karma and the desire, whatever they had in the previous birth, he will be allocating to the various planets. Is that your question? How he is doing that?
My understanding was Brahma is only creating the bodies.
Yes, that is true.
The Lord's not directly involved in placing the souls in the body. But just like he's only, I would assume, but I don't know, understand that he's only creating a few forefathers of each species and then they procreate and then the other souls enter, or is he filling up all the planets? Is he creating so many bodies at once?
Okay, that detail, it's very minute details, how it is happening. Right? So even I am not very clear in that low minute details, how the actual allocation is happening. Prabhu, I don't have.
Some forefathers like Ashakamuni, he would say that he's like a forefather, and so many other different.
See, Prabhu, this one more thing we have to understand. This is not one. This is only in one material universe. This is happening. We have innumerable universes, right? So how the jivas are going to which universe and how the bodies. That is all. I think, it is difficult to comprehend with our material senses. But we can take some senior Vaishnavas' help to understand more clearly. Yes, but I understand your question. But it's very complex thing. We cannot easily understand with our material senses how it is working. But we can take the brief knowledge so that we should know what is our duty. That's it. So if you don't do your duty properly, what will happen? That level of connection we need to have so that we will go in a right path. That's the takeaway. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. गौर भक्त वृंद की जय.